All right, hey, what's going on? You know who it is, you know what it is. All right, you guys. So I'm just gonna be honest with you. Don't look forward to Keyshawn Davis and Frank Martin anytime soon. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. At the end of the day, you finna see, the real me. I'm not pulling no more punches, and I'm just gonna keep it a buck. At the end of the day, if you guys have a problem with what I say and you want to try to play the power to the people, super militant, being pa my brother, alaykum salam, you know what I'm saying, black glove, militant dude with me when it pertains to the PBC, you got the wrong channel and you basically wasted your time and you basically could stay the fuck off my channel. That's real talk. I'm not even going to argue with you when it pertains to the PBC, because at the end of the day, based off what has happened this weekend or what's going to happen this weekend or going into what happened as far as coverage for this fight goes, everybody see it now. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I'm going to tell you guys, for me being media, as a guy that is what you call a beat reporter, when it comes to covering boxing, I don't see that fight happening anytime soon, because I just believe that, listen, man, PBC appears to have a losing record against going head up with Top Rank, and it may continue this coming Saturday. So with that being said, I just think that Al Heyman is going to go another direction with Frank Martin. I don't see him and Keyshawn Davis fighting anytime soon, unless I'm talking about it is absolutely necessary. And if you Paru Nepaberry, shout out to my Parus. I got a lot of Parus that watch my channel, just showing a little love. And I'm not disrespecting Paru, and shout out to all my Crip, you know what I'm saying, followers. I got love for y'all too. So, say I got love for both. But nevertheless, I had to get that out. So, somebody asked me to do that. But nevertheless, I just don't see that fight happening anytime soon. You just got to keep it a buck. The PBC just are hesitant to make those type of fights. And right about now, it's all about the dollars and cents now. Right about now, neither fighter is at a stage where it would be considered a big money, main event, because at the end of the day, a fight like that, they kind of would want that for that to be a main event. They would want to have it at a certain place where they can be able to attract a certain amount of people. It's one of them. It got to make dollars and it got to make sense, and that's just the politics of boxing. Now, if they was to put it on a undercard featuring other top ranked fighters, then it might could happen. But I doubt it very seriously if that's going to happen. You just have to keep it a buck. You just have to keep it a buck. You just have to tell the truth. So I would like to see that fight happen, but you seen Frank Martin's last performance versus Keyshawn Davis' last performance. Keyshawn Davis looked a lot better in his last performance versus Frank Martin. A lot of people believe that Frank Martin could have very well had lost that fight. Some people believe that he didn't deserve the W. Some people said it was a draw, and some people thought that he actually lost. Now, did Keyshawn Davis look like a world beater in his last fight? Well, he looked more dominant than Frank Martin did, and he clearly won his fight. So there's the difference. And I see this thing with Keyshawn Davis. If you look at some of my earlier interviews with Keyshawn Davis already had told me he kind of wanted to move up the ladder pretty quick. He said he kind of wanted to move at the pace of Vasily Lomachenko. So I think sometimes Keyshawn Davis gets a little bored in there. But at the end of the day, you have to, be cautious. And Keyshawn Davis needs to be cautious. Don't start thinking about your next fight while you currently are in a fight, because that could backfire tremendous on you. So he has to be careful with that. And I know he's anxious to move up the ladder and make a name for himself because to me, from what he's shown me, he is dedicated to the sport of boxing. That's why he calls himself the businessman. And like I said, Keyshawn is a good dude. I like the kid. I really do. I like his brother too. So, I think they're both good dudes. So, they're real good dudes. But, you have to look at it economically right about now. No matter how bad we want to see it economically, that wouldn't do numbers as far as you couldn't put that on pay-per-view. I mean, you could put it on regular TV, but I think the PBC wants to keep doing pay-per-view. They want to be under the pay-per-view moniker when it comes to just certain events. Now, they would be willing to do Shakur Stevenson, but once again, it comes down to Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is building his brand. He's building his popularity up, and that's what he needs to do. That's what he needs to do. But once again, you have to ask yourself, would Al Heyman be willing to make that fight? Would he be willing to put, Shakur in there with Frank Martin? Highly unlikely. But I do like the idea of Keyshawn and Frank Martin fighting. I think it would be a hell of a fight. But once again, how soon do you make that fight? And how would, both Top Rank and the PBC try to get a return if they make that fight? So I think it's one of them situations where Frank Martin is going to have to look better in his next couple of fights, and they need to get him back in the ring as soon as possible. Keyshawn Davis, I think, has a fight coming up. So Keyshawn Davis is getting fights. So, I think he'll be back in the ring maybe around September, after, coming off his last fight. So I almost can guarantee that Keyshawn Davis will fight one or two more times before the year is over. I think he's going to probably fight in September, and he may fight in December. So, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. But anyway, it's your boy Town. Let me know what you think. I'm out.